Okay, I've drawn up a little wiring diagram of these for the Chinese CDI, and it pretty much goes like this. Top right, or top left, excuse me, is your pickup coil. Next to that one, on to the right, is your coil up in the top. Coil. Down from that, in the corner, is basically hot. This comes off your stator. The center one is a kill switch, and the one in the corner here, going to the left, is a ground. Pretty much just like that. This one only has 4 prongs in it. Most of them have 5. My bike, it runs off of the one that has a 4 or 5. So in here, one of these actually does ground and kills the bike. Okay. Tight for room here. Okay. Let's start with pickup coil. Pickup coil is in with your stator. This part, you won't be able to see it. Obviously, it's in the engine. All you're going to be seeing is these wires coming out. Now, this is for that Warrior, an 86 Warrior. They're going to be different, but basically, as far as maybe the amount of wires, the color of the wires, they'll be different. But pretty much all bikes that I've encountered, these 3 they're usually always the same color. And they have a weird case on them. It's like a material case. These will go to your rectifier. These are 12 volt. These are to charge your battery and to run all your lights. You don't even unplug that. You don't even have to worry about that one. Because basically, you're going to leave. I even have my old CDI is still plugged in, but just the wires that I had to disconnect from it and hook into the Chinese CDI have been disconnected. So my charging system isn't affected. It doesn't affect anything else. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, pickup coil. This particular model has 2 coils. I think one is to advance spark, but most of them only have 1. Okay, the problem that people run into is there's so few wires here. On this one here, the engine runs off of 4 wires. Where you're probably going to see a lot more wires coming out of your bike, and that's where people get confused and kind of go, wow, man, shy away from it. We'll use these ones for instance. This is one coil, one pickup coil. This is the second pickup coil. There's 2 of them. Okay, on most bikes, like I said, there will only be two of these wires because there's only going to be 1 pickup coil. Like the Hondas, they only have 1. Now, these are just a negative and a positive, and it really doesn't even matter, the negative or the positive. Don't get into the logistics of it, but all it's doing is when the crank turns, it turns that flywheel, it passes a magnet, and it picks up pulse off of every time it passes that, it just picks up a pulse. Okay, so you cut one of these wires. It will go into your pickup coil wire, which is your top left. The other wire, if there is another wire, it's a ground. The problem here is the Chinese quads, they just ground. There's only 1 wire coming out of their pickup coil, and it's grounded right through the case right here. This one isn't grounded through the case. It has its own separate ground. So just ground it. And I ground everything through this. This has to be grounded too, through this ground wire. And I hooked them all together and then grounded it on the frame of the bike. Okay, your coil. On the more higher end, the Yamahas, the Hondas, and that, there's only 1 wire coming off the coil. This is a Chinese quad one. It has 2. And basically, if you look at it, the 1 wire goes in directly into the coil, and the other one is basically just grounds out right there, and then it grounds out on the frame. like I said, if you only have one wire, then it's grounding through the frame of the bike on the mounting bracket. And so all you have to do is hook the other wire, not the ground, the other wire, to the right hand top, which is the coil. Okay, back to the stator. The stator puts out your 12 volt and it also puts out AC. Okay, and without getting into the logistics of it, this is the 12 volt portion of it, and this is the AC coil, which actually does come out of this particular one. Back to your stator wires. Get rid of those 3 that go to the 12 volt. These are the ones that go to your pickup coil. All that's left is the AC. This actually charges the CDI up. Okay, there's 2 wires. One's hot, one's negative. Okay, all you got to do is keep get your hot one. If you're in doubt, just put your ohm meter on there and kick the bike over or crank it over, whatever you got, and check for voltage. On this particular one, it's this red wire, puts out the voltage. So this one, just leave it hooked up how it was. It's a ground, it just grounded out. It will go to the hot. This will be the lower right hand corner, goes to your stator. Okay. There's a 5th wire, which is just basically is grounded, and it has a switch, so it grounds the CDI and kills the bike. It goes to your kill switch. As long as that isn't grounded, the bike will fire. You might have to choke it to shut it down, or you can get wire in your kill switch off of your bike that it already has a kill switch. All it has to do is make ground. Once it makes ground, the bike will shut off. I mean, this is just serious basic to get the bike to run. But once you wire this thing in, make everything look good, tuck it all in, do what you got to do, this will work, man. This will get your bike on the road and get you doing what you want to do, and at a fraction of the cost. If I've missed anything or you're a bit vague on it, I've tried to make this video at least 3 times now, and it's very hard to explain it on paper and that without seeing it firsthand. It's pouring down rain right now outside, so I'm not going to go out there and show you the Warrior, how it's all wired up. But basically you would look at that and probably say the same thing. Oh, here's just a bunch of wires. But we're talking 4 wires, and one of them is a ground. I mean, ground is ground. That's a total no-brainer. And the thing is, even if you hook this stuff up wrong, you're not going to fry anything more than your CDI, which you gave $8 for, if that, brand spanking new. So I wouldn't sweat it. I hooked it up a whole bunch of different ways in the beginning, trying to get the thing to and it didn't fry anything. It's all good. Feel free to rate, comment, and I can get back with you and walk you through it step by step. And yeah, that's it. Have a good one, and talk to you soon.